Live from BC Children's Hospital in Vancouver, it's the 28th Annual Miracle Weekend.
Yes, and welcome. We are live from BC Children's Hospital for the 28th Annual Miracle Weekend. We're here this evening and all day tomorrow at the hospital, which serves close to 1 million children living in BC and the Yukon.
And I get to hang out with you guys on Saturday night. What could be better? I'm so excited.
Like our old days.
Isn't it? We'll show you stories about the amazing kids who've been at this hospital and the caregivers who help them. We'll also show you how your donations are used to fund the equipment and research that save kids' lives.
All right, every profession has its ups and downs, but when you're a caregiver at a pediatric hospital, the challenges and joys are extraordinary. So what's it like to be a caregiver here at Children's Hospital, and what do the patients think of them? Here are a few candid answers.
I'd love to be out of a job. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but to see less children having critical events happen to them would be wonderful.
I sometimes will say I'd rather look after 4 little kids that have had surgery than 1 adult that's had surgery, because the kids just want to be loved and go play.
People often feel that it must be really sad to work in an intensive care unit, because I think everybody envisages really awful things always happening. So you always have to remember that 97% of our children do get better, that intensive care in pediatrics is quite different from intensive care in adults that way. And there are sad days, absolutely there are sad days, but sometimes our job is to give a child a good death if there's nothing more we can do. Sometimes our job is to support families through that process.
Some days it's an incredible feeling helping a little child out, and other days when you can't, it's very, very challenging. And for me, you know, just going home and even hugging my children makes me feel human again. It lets me know not to take things for granted.
Dr. Rod very quickly allayed our fears and basically said, I'm going to cure your kid. He never doubted he was going to cure Oscar. Even when it came back the second time, he was like, nope, it's just another challenge and we'll get through this too.
I think that it's important for British Columbians to know that Children's Hospital doesn't just use medicine to support healing. The Child Life Department and the music therapists and the therapeutic clowns and the volunteers, we all are there to make sure that the heart is being healed as well as the body.
Dr. Karen told us from the very beginning that they cured lymphoma every day at BC Children's Hospital, and she was confident she would cure Gabe. And I believed her. I believed her the first time she said it, and every other time she said it since.
When people say, oh, it must be so sad being a pediatric oncologist, most people are pretty surprised when they hear that I'm curing the majority of the patients who are coming through the door. And so that's really rewarding, seeing kids get through treatment, finish treatment, and see them years after treatment leading normal lives.
Yes, and Dr. Mary Bennett is with us. She's the Honorary Physician Chair of Miracle Weekend and intensive care unit physician as well. And she has a very unique perspective, and I've actually interviewed her 4 times now, and that's why I feel I want to talk about some things that we talked about in the past, because I think they're really pertinent to what we're going through right now, is that you've been here since the beginning of Children's Hospital. You've seen a lot of things over your career just from the physician side. Let's talk about that first. You've seen diseases cured. You've seen a lot of things since your days here.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes in the kind of children we look after. I think one of the big things is vaccines, and we don't see a lot of the diseases that we often saw in my early days. And there's been a lot of movements in safety, helmets, car seats. We don't see the trauma we used to see. So we treat much more complex children now with many more complex diseases.
And your son has spent a number of times in the hospital as well. And as I said to you, it gives you an interesting perspective of what parents are going through when they bring their children in for the first time.
And yeah, it's true. My third son had a number of abnormalities. He had problems with his eyes, cataracts. We've had 8 surgeries now. And even now, he'll go to camp and come back with an upset tummy and it's appendicitis. So yeah, we've been at Children's a lot.
There's a lot of pressure on you in this particular role because you're representing the caregivers of the hospital as the role of honorary physician. And I think you like that, though, because you're very close to your staff.
We work in teams, and I think that's what's really nice about Children's Hospital is we have a lot of people that all work together. And I feel really honored to represent the physicians, the nurses, the RTs, the pharmacists, all the people that take care of the children in our hospital.
Well, thank you very much for being here, and it's been great getting to know you as well, and continued success. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Nice knowing you.
All right.
So you might be wondering if donations to BC Children's Hospital really do make a difference. And that's a fair question. Here to provide the answers to those questions and are those who benefit the most from those donations.
Please support BC Children's Hospital. The care that they provide here to not just children like mine with an exceptionally rare condition, but to the amount of kids who you assume are healthy, but they're not. They need your donations.
We're always trying to be the best. We're always trying to close that gap between where we are and where we want to be, and donations help us close that gap.
Please support BC Children's Hospital because you're helping save lives like mine.
You don't realize how important donations are until you need the hospital. And then when you need the hospital, you are so grateful that for many, many years people have been donating to this hospital, and that has raised the caliber of the expertise and the professionals that it attracts to the level that it has, because now all of a sudden you're dependent on it and you want the best surgeons and you want the best equipment for your child.
Please help and donate BC Children's Hospital to help me and other kids like me that have cancer get out of the hospital quicker.
Please support Children's Hospital. I want to keep helping these kids with cancer.
Governments fund hospitals, they fund people, but they don't necessarily fund the advances as quickly as we need them to. So all of those donation dollars are so critical to so many of the programs that we're able to provide at our hospital, and we are so very grateful for those donations.
We, at least for me, shamefully, I didn't donate to the hospital before I had a son with a rare disease. I would watch the telethon and I turned the channel and I would think, oh, that poor family, those poor kids, but I wouldn't donate. And I can't believe I did that now, because now I'm so grateful for the people who do donate, who don't just flip the channel, who take the time to do it, because my son is benefiting from it.
I want people to understand what it means to be the only children's hospital in British Columbia, and I've said this before, is that we have to do it all and we have to be the best. We don't have an option.
My name is Maya. I love Children's Hospital.
Well, you love it because it has become a second home to us.
The thing that is surprising to me is, although he doesn't quite understand his illness, he's so familiar with the idea of a hospital that when we go to the grocery store, he asks the cashier if they're doctors because they're in uniform. So he assumes that the hospital is everywhere. And I'm happy that he is so comfortable with the hospital that he doesn't fear it. It saddens me, though, that that's his reality.
BC Children's Hospital saved my life.
Children's is where Jack was born, it was where he was saved, and it's where he will be raised. We're here 1 to 2 times a week. This is a home for him. It's a home away from home, and we're very lucky to have it.
When I grow up, I want to be a nurse at BC Children's Hospital.
It's an unbelievable collaborative environment. So I feel very lucky. I actually feel very privileged, and there's many days where I feel I lucked out because I've got the best job in the world.
Oscar still loves to come to BC Children's even after 2 bouts of cancer, and I think it's because it's not a depressing place to be. It's full of light, it's full of love, and it's full of hope.
So thank you very much for everyone who's donating to Children's Hospital and supporting us. So kids like me who had cancer. So thank you very much to all of you.
an incredible moment this is. The energy in this room, if you could feel it. Miracle Weekend coming to a close, and what an amazing weekend it has been. All right, we got to check out the big total.
Time to check it out. Okay, just so everyone, we're ready to shout out those numbers. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Let's do it.
Good. Thank you, BC.
1, 6, 3, 4, 0, 8, 8.
There goes the confetti. Oh my gosh.
It's a confetti. It's a confetti storm. Thank you very much, British Columbia. That was absolutely amazing. We could not have done this without your help. Thanks very much, Gemma, Brooke, Deb, Mark, Ted, and everybody else. See you next year.
Thank you.
Lost in their play, through grateful eyes, you can hear them say, thank you all. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Miracles happen with love and with help from the angel in all of us. Miracles happen, oh yes they do. Here's hoping someday one happens for you, and the peace comes to you from above. Miracles happen with love. Miracles happen with love, and with help from the angel in all of us. Miracles happen, oh yes they do. Here's hoping someday one happens for you, and peace comes to you from above.